Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and in this video we're going to go over the character review for Lopobia Ju. This is going to be a lot quicker than usual because I don't want to waste too much time talking about Ju. She is not really a unit you can use in adventure, so there is very little reason to talk about her. Maybe I'm going to mention her a bit more if the next DPS unit that Green is going to get will depend on her. I doubt it, so that's probably not going to happen. But in case Ju becomes relevant later on, I will let you guys know. For now, I don't really want to waste too much time talking about her. So, for the first point, how good Ju is, I can already say that she's mostly a replacement for the Seven Knights collab because she has the green element resistance decrease. That's mostly useful just in bossing, as I said. So you don't have to worry about Ju for adventure. She might work a lower deficit, or if you really use a lot of insane supports for her, she can do some decent stuff, but really not worth the effort, not really a unit you will deploy. For that reason, I only gave her a rank. That is just for the bossing utility for the most part, and just because she can survive quite easily thanks to L. So it shouldn't be like it's a unit you can deploy, but it's not going to bring a lot of benefits to your team. The other reason is that also like there are not really a lot of good green DPS units that can leverage what she provides, and she's not really a DPS on her own. I mean, you could probably get her to SSR plus, and at that point her damage will get quite a lot higher, but I don't think enough to actually make her usable. So I wouldn't bother with that. I've not tried. Maybe in a few months when we have more scrolls to upgrade all the units we want, maybe I will give that a shot, but I don't think it's worth it. So kind of up to you, but I wouldn't do it. So should you pull for this unit or not? Definitely, if you have Princess of Zahard maxed out and you're looking for like a Shane replacement, if you don't have Shane, then yes, she's a unit you should be picking. At the very least, like zero dupes can already do some stuff. It would be better if you go with 3 red because she gets the attack speed, she can apply the passive stacks a bit more quickly and keep up the green element resistance decrease a bit more reliably. But more on that in the kit review section, let's say. So yeah, that's about it, guys. I wouldn't pull for her in any other scenario except for you have Princess of Zard maxed and you need a support for her in bossing. I wouldn't even consider her the best support that she has for bossing, so you have other options. I don't know once we get to the next Alliance expedition if the team with Ju is actually going to be insane. No clue so far for the other bossing setups. She's okay. She's good, but that's it. So yeah, that being said, guys, let's have a quick look at the kit. So we have the passive that is the core of what Ju does. You are going to mark enemies and also your Carp Trio, that is the special move. You're going to mark enemy whenever you hit them with basic attacks. And when an enemy that is marked is attacked by green element ally skill, then the mark explodes, dealing damage and decreasing the element resistance of the enemy by 5% for 10 seconds, max 16 stacks. So that would be quite the amount. That's 80% element resistance. Now, the issue with this is that every single stack has an independent duration. So it's not like you obtain the second stack and also the first one gets the whole 10 seconds again. No, the first stack will always expire after 10 seconds. The second one, 10 seconds after it is acquired. The third one, the same. So they all have a different duration. I don't like that because we don't have a number in this game, so we don't know how many stacks we applied to the enemies. And just in general, you will always see it getting close to the end before like going back in, I don't know, like showing a bit more time in the debuff icon. So it's not like it's hard to tell if you are using the 80% at all times or if it's lower because you have to hit the enemy with a skill if you want to proc that. So you need a lot of green element allies so that we have more skills to proc that effect, or you need multi-hit attacks, but while there is the multi-hit, you need to reapply the mark for it to explode. So it's really, really tricky to get the 16 stacks. I think basically impossible because you need 1.6 stacks per second. It is not feasible. From my point of view, it is not possible. So I don't know exactly how good this one is. It's hard to tell. Then we also have a similar effect that is going to be a buff, and it's actually an attack buff up to 160%. The logic is the same, so kind of hard to tell how much attack we're getting from this. But on paper, it would be amazing if the duration refreshed. It would have been really good. Like this, it's tricky, really tricky. Then we have the active skill exit with a pop. This one is just going to teleport her to a safe space behind an ally and conceal herself for 10 seconds, which means her survivability is going to be pretty solid. And she's also going to recover energy and heal, pretty good overall. And with, I believe, Revolution, she gets this when she takes a fatal hit, so that's pretty good. Then we have the other active skill, just increasing her attack speed and also increasing the attack coefficient over basic attacks. Not too important because her damage, again, is kind of negligible, so you don't really care too much about it, but it's okay. At least the attack speed is important. Then we have the special move, yet another attack speed increase, and also a basic attack pierce increase, which is fine, but again, her damage is not really that important. And then she's going to summon 3 carbs that are going to deal, like apply the mark from the passive. That's most of what we care about. The extra stats that they get and also the damage they deal is again irrelevant, so I wouldn't bother with that. And Ju is immune to status effects while the skill is active. So overall, survivability wise, with the conceal, with the L ignition weapon set, and also with the status effect immunity, she's pretty okay. She's going to attack non-stop, so that's good, I would say. For the exclusive equipment, we have lifesteal as the stat, kind of irrelevant. We have the attack coefficient of the carp drone trio increases, fine. The cooldown of exit with a pop resets when hit by a melee attack, and the cooldown reset does not activate again for 10 seconds. So if you are hit, then you're going to proc again this one, which is cool, so not too bad. Then we have the attack speed increase on the special move on the summons, and then she has an heal and recover energy by 300 when exit with a pop activates. So just an extra survivability tool with extra energy so that you can have higher uptime on the carbs. That's it. Simple, nothing too fancy. It's okay. Then for Revolution, we have the things I mentioned before. So when she dies for the first time, she's going to activate exit with a pop. Cool. And the Revolution 5 is a silence every 5th basic attack of the Carp Drone trio. So that's good. I mean, they do 5 attacks in no time, so the silence uptime will be good. Against some bosses, this could be pretty important. We were using, I think, Anna in some scenarios to apply silence on enemies. Now you can also use Ju. It is fine. So yeah, I think that's a good revolution. Not useful in adventure, but for bossing, it might come in handy. And that's it for this part. Let's talk about the ignition weapon. As I mentioned, L I think is going to be great for her own survivability. For bossing, I would only consider Doris because the swiftness increase for the teammates is really, really good. You could run also Sundance if you want to use her as a DPS in adventure. I don't think I would recommend that. I would rather go with L. But yeah, in bossing, don't bother with this one. I normally provide here the information for adventure, but I'm telling you guys, if you're using it for bossing, Doris would be basically the only option, the best one. Unless you're already running another Doris, in which case you can run L, but yeah, that's about it. L would be good also in bossing to apply more frequently the passive stack or the passive mark, but is not really comparable to Doris, I would say. Now for the investment guide, you can use her at 0 dupes because she doesn't really get too much out of the extra dupes. Like, I mean, I think she's getting just like attack speed here increases, the basic attack one as well. The stats of the carbs are also increasing, this attack speed is increasing. You're also losing out on the attack speed that you gain from the evolution subnodes, but this amount here stays the same. Also the attack buff stays the same. So in general, you can use her as a support unit even at 0 dupes in bossing. but definitely you get more benefits and more quality of life as you dupe her up. But yeah, for mandatory, you can just go with 0 dupes. She will do okay. Then for recommended, I have 3 red because this one gives you access to the attack speed subnode, and that's really important. Also affected, because without that, you might want to run affected slot 4, as I showed here. And when you get to like 3 red, you can already go affect resistance and invest on 10 levels in affected. For the nice to have is just maxed out, and then the investment on the subnodes is basically the same. You don't care about the offensive stats unless you get her to SSR plus, in which case you might want to get like 20 levels in attack speed, 20 levels in crit damage, 20 levels in attack, potentially 20 levels in basic attack peers, but that's mostly if you want to try and use her as a DPS in adventure. I would not recommend that. So that's it for the investment, guys. Let's look at some team building and then let's close the video here. For the team building, there is really nothing much that she provides. Is green element ally attack increase and green element resistance decrease. What she needs is just green allies, otherwise her whole kit is kind of irrelevant. And the enemies that you should avoid will depend on the team composition. This is just, again, a support unit you will slot in here and there. That doesn't really provide too much. And the enemies that this unit is good against is bosses. That's what I wrote there. In terms of synergy, it was hard to find any, other than Princess of the Heart, as we mentioned, because she's the best boss in DPS we have in green. And like Jew is only there to amplify her damage. Calavan has a good number of active skills. This is mostly maybe for adventure if you really want to, because he also has a lot of cooldown reduction in his own kit. And that should be kind of helpful to proc Juice passive, but I don't recommend that, to be honest. It's just that there were no other units other than Princess. So it's like, what am I going to highlight? I could have added, to be honest, Anniversary Iwa, because our damage over time from the healing will actually proc the passive, so it wouldn't be that bad, but still not good enough. And then we have Tromray. He has a multi-hit special move, so it can proc Juice passive quite a lot, but again, I don't know why I clicked on Calavan, whatever. Again, not really that great of, like, other than Prince of Zar, there is nobody you really want to use her with. In terms of basic teams, the monocolor one is kind of troll. We have Zahard Adventurer for the cooldown reduction on Princess. We have Princess. Then we have Hiwa to keep everyone alive. Ju to provide the extra damage. And Tromray because I did not know who else to add. Maybe Calavan, but it would have felt weird. So I went for Tromray instead. But that's okay. For the multicolor team, I tried to add sort of a bossing team. So we have Princess linked to Albelda with Sharon, Ju, and Hayura. I would say this is not necessarily the best team. There might be some other options if you want to run Tawa, if you want to run Blarode, or whatever, depending on the enemy you're facing, the boss you're facing. But this could be an overall okay team to try and run. And that was all, guys. That's all for the character review for Ju. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, any doubts, or anything else. And I will see you in the next video, probably after I will be back from Scotland. I think this is the last video I'm uploading, and I will be back on the 15th. I don't think I can do any, like, I can record any videos on September 15th. So I will definitely do like some more, especially for the content that's going to be released and the like first impression and everything. I will release them starting from September 16. And yeah, thanks so much, guys, for watching again, and I will see you then. Bye.